Hello, I'm Fiona Armour. I'm an artist. You can find me at fionaarmourartist.co.uk. This is what I do.
I use traditional oils, Sennelier or Michael Harding. Love the brilliance and depth of colour that they have, and I enjoy painting with the buttery texture that you get. As you can see, I use a knife and just a traditional wooden palette, and I tend to mix up most of the colours I'm going to use on any given day before I actually start doing what I'm doing. Here there's a couple of sections where I'm just finishing off paintings that I've been working on for a while. And the beauty of oils and the frustration sometimes is you have to put things aside to let them dry for a while before you can then go back and finish them off. And sometimes I can't help but end up touching up things like the sky, although I do usually start with that as well. Both of those Scottish ones. In fact, all of the ones you see me working on today are from Scotland. So start with a blank canvas, and I will sketch out normally in pencil, but often working not necessarily just from a photo, but also a tonal sketch and sort of notes about what's where. And then I thin down the first layer that goes on, and angle the board back a bit, so you can see I get some drips, but it's not too bad. And I can live with that. I don't mind the drips. I work with them as part of the painting. Um, it makes life a bit more interesting, and it certainly makes it a lot easier to blend when you're doing the sky. So I can usually fairly quickly get a good covering in, and depending on the weather and what I'm trying to achieve, I can mix down the paint. So as well as having mixed out what I want in advance on the palette, I will then mix on the canvas as well. In my paintings, I'm trying to convey or add something that you just don't get in a photo. Usually the feeling, the emotions I felt at the time in that place, that time. Sometimes it's just as simple as the joy at the colours. This was a really spectacular sunset that we had lit the night after the summer solstice last year. We were just setting off on a circumnavigation of Skye. Picked up the boat and basically moored up off Ilonsey at the bottom end of Skye, before we were sort of setting off on our journey. And the colours, you can actually see the photo on the wall that I'm working from there. But also, and I do keep glancing up at it for reference. But just the memory of the colours and the peace and tranquility of that scene was just something really special. So I try and respect what the light's doing in the landscape and the reflections and shadows and things. So a lot of my paintings are kind of dawn or sunset, or when the light's doing something a little bit more interesting. But I also don't necessarily paint in all the details of the boats and the rigging and things like that. Just kind of enough for you to know what's going on, because it's very much about the feeling, and what what the atmosphere of the place. And it's really hard to explain how I put that into a painting. I just know I do paint with my heart as well as my knife. My approach to commissions is to ask, why is this important to you? What's so special about that place, time, memory? I've done paintings for the beach a couple met on for their silver wedding anniversary, a fair few boat ones in various places. I am taking commissions at the moment. My planned trip to the Arctic this summer was cancelled, so all the plans for lots of work and a solo exhibition from that have been deferred for at least a year. And as you can see, I've got plenty to work on anyway, just in the studio from my own inspiration. But I do enjoy making special paintings for people. So please, just if you've got ideas, feel free to contact me. And it could be something as kind of a tweak to an existing photo rather than sort of sending me away to go and do my own sketches and start completely from scratch. I wanted to let you see me working in my studio. That's something I don't normally do in the open studios. Wet oil paint really isn't conducive to members of the public kind of wandering freely around. Um, so I've sort of focused on that in this project. My website has all my paintings on it, and you can see on that which ones are in lockdown galleries, and you would have to go to the gallery website to buy them, and which ones are in my studio or easily accessible. I did put as many as I could fit on the walls, so you could sort of see those as I pan round. But there are a fair few you can't see in this film that are elsewhere at Northlight or just away in safe storage. And those are all on my website. I hope you've enjoyed watching me paint. It will be lovely to welcome people back to my studio, either by individual appointment, which we are allowed to do from next week, or just the next time we have open studios or any kind of event. As it stands, I've not got any exhibitions planned for the rest of this year. Everything was on hold, but we'll just have to see how we go. The Hebden Bridge Open Studios is now going to be the 10th and 11th of October. It's at the moment that's still billed as being an online only event, but we may find we can open up a little bit more nearer the time. At the moment, we just don't know, so we've had to assume it will be online only. But I hope this has been a good little taster for you anyway, and especially enjoyable for the friends of mine that live at the far end of the country and can't normally make it to my studio during the normal open studios anyway. So stay safe, everyone. Hopefully see you soon and enjoy my website. Thank you.